it's about time. It is about time. This video is about time. And I want all of you to feel it's about time, right? Where you see that everything is now. There is no time. I want to share with you a really wonderful movie, and I want to share with you a subscriber's realization about time that I know is going to inspire you and shake things up and loosen this belief about time and waiting and what's a fact and its reality. All of these comments, I know that you guys get frustrated while you're unfolding and you're learning who you are and you're really remembering the truth about who you are, which is God, and you are the all. So stick with me. You're going to love this video. And if you love Flash, right, from their DC, actually, I was going to say Marvel, but it's not Marvel. It's DC Comics. So I went to go see the new movie Flash, and that is what I'm going to share with you because it was spot on, and it is so much fun. Spoiler alert, I might say some things that happen in the movie, just FYI, but I'm not going to talk about the whole movie and how it ends or none of that, okay? So stick with me. So welcome, my name is Rose, and welcome to The Rosey Life, where we help you free your mind and follow your heart so you live a life that you love. If you're interested in working one-on-one with me, you can go to TheRoseyLife.com and you can read about how I work with different people, either one-on-one, or you can join the Rosey Life coursing community, where I have 12 self-guided study lessons. Actually, there's a little bit more because I've added more, and those are just to help you start looking internally, go from an external person that needs validation or looking for external things to happen to an internal way of thinking. And that's what those lessons are for, to start helping you see everything differently. That's all we're doing. All right. And then I come every Wednesday live to answer your questions live, and those are recorded and left for you to watch as many times as you want to later, and you can ask as many questions as you want throughout the week, and I answer those in the forum and during the live. All right, so okay, so if you guys haven't seen the movie Flash, the new one, go watch it. It's so cool. The whole freaking movie is metaphysical, okay? The entire movie is about time, because Flash is that superhero that has the ability to go faster, move faster than light, in the speed of light, okay? So in that movie, they're talking about general relativity. If you guys are like science geeks, right? That's what they're talking about in that movie. And it's really cool how they use Flash's superhero abilities to explain what all of these metaphysical teachers in what we've all talked about on YouTube channels about manifesting, of whether it's through reality transurfing or Neville Goddard or Alan Watts or Wayne Dyer, Abraham Hicks, all of it, everyone's looking and speaking about it in a different way. And it's all beautiful, it's all perfect, because it's all speaking to different people at different times in their awakening or in them remembering who they are. You're awakening to who you are, or you're remembering who you are. All right. So why I wanted to talk about this is that I've had a couple of clients this week already tell me that they're struggling, and they just think, you know what, this is not realistic, that they're in a fantasy land, that the reality is this, this, and this, and that they feel delusional, and that they're selecting something else or choosing something else, and that they don't see anything changing, and that they can't let go of a fact of what happened in the past, and they don't see that person or the search situation changing. They can't see a different version of a person, or they can't imagine that this would actually be true, or that you can't change the past, or that you can't change what's happening. And all of this stuff, all right, really wrapped around time and really sticking to a reality, right? That's all that's happening there. When I hear that, is you believing that there's just one reality, and whatever you see, touch, hear, smell is what you deem real. All right. So that's the 3D, what you're describing to AT. And what you do in imagination is not the 3D. You are actually manifesting the 3D. It's coming from you, all right? So when I speak to people about changing things, some of the comments sometimes, either as a subscriber or as a client, I hear, but it didn't happen that way. It's not true. So you're telling me to select something that actually didn't happen, and they're referring to revising, to revision, okay? So they're saying, but that's not what happened. I'm writing this, but it's not what happened. Do you see? So, and every time you say that's not what happened, that's an affirmation. You think affirmations are just about positive things like I am love, I am good, I'm wealthy. Affirmations are also the things coming out of your mouth or things that you're thinking or you're assuming. You're saying, but that's not what happened. That's an affirmation too. Do you see? And you have much more conviction and belief in that because you're remembering that it actually happened, and you're saying, but I was there, but I did it, but I touched it, but I heard it, but they said it, right? And so you're walking away saying that's what's true and nothing else is true. And you're saying, no, I can't have anything other option. Do you see? But that's all that 3D thinking, because who you are is you are God. You are above what you deem as facts, okay? Because there are no facts. There are no facts. There are only options. There are only choices. There are only infinite choices. That's all there really is. There are no facts. In that reality, it feels like that's a fact, but then you just leave that reality or that version of you that has experienced something different, and now that's your new fact. Do you see? But there's no actual fact, only what you choose. So in Flash, for give you a little background if you don't know who Flash is, you guys know I love DC and Marvel, okay? I love me some Batman, Superman, Iron Man. I love both, okay? So anyway, Flash enters an arena like where Flash, okay, so in the movie Flash, remember his superpower is he can go fast. He can move faster than the speed of light, right? So Flash enters an arena like place, right, where he stands at the center of all time. So if you guys think of a coliseum, like those Roman coliseums or a stadium or a baseball field, right? Imagine that he can move so fast and he goes into the center of that coliseum or that stadium, right? And in that center, he is standing in the center of all time. Isn't this cool? And what is all around him in the bleachers or in all the seats around him as he moves around, right? He is able to look at all time frames all around him. He can see when he was a child, when he was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He sees all the different versions of his mom, of his dad. He sees the different versions of him in all times, in different things that happen. And in the movie, and also in the show, his mother dies. And he is wanting to go back in time because he realizes he has the power to go back in time to save his mom. That's what he's trying to do in the movie, okay? So he is able to go into that arena and see all versions in all time, and then he goes into that time frame or that point in time to save his mom. So to save his mom, he believes he can change one thing and not mess with that reality. In other words, he's warned. Okay, he's already been warned by Batman, I believe. And he is warned that if you go back in time, you can't change a single hair. You can't change anything. He said, especially, he's warned, you can't interact with other people. You can't stop the murderer from murdering your mom. You can't interact. You can't get in there and remind people or speak to people. You can't change that reality. Do you see that? So he was like, okay, so he's like so upset because he knows he has the ability to stop his mother from dying. So he goes anyway and decides, I'm not going to interact with any people. I'm not going to stop the murder. I'm not going to try to get involved with mom or dad or anything like that. So what does he do? He just puts a can of tomatoes in his mom's shopping basket because that's what she forgets to buy. and sends her husband to go buy them, and when she's home in the kitchen alone is when she's murdered, because he sends her out to buy tomatoes, so she's left alone. So he says, I can prevent her from being alone. So he puts a can of tomatoes in her shopping basket, and he looks at his mom and he says, hi mom, I'll see you soon. Because he knows that when he does that, he expects her to see her. Do you see? But what happens is a whole show of things go wrong. By moving that one thing in that reality, he creates all this havoc in realities. Everything begins to change. The characters, the superheroes, some superheroes don't even exist. He really messes with that reality, and he thought he was making it better by changing something in that reality, but he actually makes it worse. Now, why I wanted to bring this up is because time and time again, I have mentioned, and I'm sure many other wonderful coaches have mentioned, that you cannot, when you revise, you're not changing the reality of what happened. You're not changing that actual reality or that state. You can't. That is even what they talk about in the movie Flash. You are messing with the laws of the universe. So many books are talking about The Flow by Eric Butterworth talks about it. The Reality Transurfing book, he talks about it. You can't, A Course in Miracles talks about it. The script is written. You can't change that reality. You can't change that conversation or dynamic with that person that actually happened. That's not what we're doing. So when he's in that Coliseum, he's looking at time and trying to use time and trying to go back in time to change what happened. But that's not what we're doing. We're not changing what happened. We're only selecting a different outcome. So if Flash goes in there and selects a different reality, a different outcome, that's different than him going in and moving the can of tomatoes. He's trying to manipulate what happened, so preventing to get a different outcome. And that's where I'm not going to spoil the movie for you, but all these things happen, and then there's a version of Flash, the one that's constantly trying to change and change and change, and it shows a version of Flash that becomes almost like evil, dark looking. And why he's evil and dark? Because for years, he keeps going back and back and back and back and keeps trying to change different scenarios of his mom so she doesn't die, and he becomes like this dark, and he's overtaken by what? By his trying, by efforting, pleading. That is you believing in one reality, one timeline. So Flash was believing that there was only one outcome, one possibility, one timeline that he could change it. That's the only one he had to work with. So Flash is about that use of time. Okay, so when you're trying to effort and trying to change things and trying to move things and you think that this reality, you're thinking there's only one reality, one outcome. That's why it feels so hard, because you can't change it, because every reality is already written. Every script is written. What we're doing in revision is you're selecting a different outcome. And honestly, it is exactly like when you revise and you're selecting a new reality where you have a different outcome, right? You think that you're changing what is, but you're not. You're moving into a new reality where you are experiencing what you want. You can either do that by revising, or you go and you think of something that you've never experienced before. And that is also, do you see, it doesn't matter if you think you're going back into a past and revising, or if you're going to a future and selecting something new. It's all the same thing. Okay, you're just selecting. The bottom line is we're always choosing. And I love this because also Batman explains to him, okay? He explains to him the timelines, and this was really, really cool to explain the way he explained it. Batman explains to Flash that what happened when he put that can of tomatoes in his mom's basket. Flash believes that he was able to change the future. He was able to change the outcome of his mom not dying, and therefore she's alive and with him now. Okay, he thought, I'm just going to go back in time and change that, and that way I have a new future. Well, Batman sits his butt down and says, no, that's not what's happening. And I have 2 sticks of incense here. Hopefully you can see them. And Batman uses 2 pieces of spaghetti. Raw. I don't have spaghetti, so I got 2 incense sticks. And he puts them together and he shows Flash. He says, what you think you did is, he said, let's pretend this is past, present, and future. And he said, Batman tells him, time is not linear. He says, you think that you went to maybe this point, right before present, you went to this point, and that you change what's going to happen from here on. And he said, no. He said, that means that time's linear. And he said, that's not what happens at all. He said, when you go back and you change something, he says, you're not only changing what happened in the future, he says, but you're changing it all. He says, that point in time that you changed, he said, is now, let's say that this is a point in time he changed. He said, it's an axis point. He said, so it's not that you're on that same reality. He says, now you change that and you change that event. And he says, not only do you change what's going to happen in the future, he says, but you've also changed the past. Isn't this incredible? You change the past, present, and future. And that includes everything, which is why he was experiencing different versions of Batman. He was experiencing that certain superheroes didn't exist, and he was experiencing all kinds of weird things, and he was just like, what is happening? Because he thought he was just going to keep the same timeline, this one reality, and that everything is just working on a continuum, that he's only changing now in the future. No. He says that's an axis point that becomes a new reality where it has a new past, new present, new future. It has nothing to do with this other reality. Do you see that? So when you revise something from the seeming past, because there is none, you are not just changing your one reality, your one 3D that you think is realistic, right? No, you are literally creating a new reality where you have a new past, new present, new future. That, my friends, is incredible. I loved how Batman explained that. I love my Batman. And I was like, oh my God, I have to share this with everybody, because that is what we're doing. When you revise something or you imagine something, whether it's now or in the future or the past, or doesn't matter, right? That is a new access point, right? And you're entering a new reality that has a whole new past, new future, new present. Yeah. And so what you desire, right? You don't have to worry about people disappearing, okay? You don't have to worry about that, because there's only love. They do all that for the movie, that certain characters disappear and blah, 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 all this bad stuff happen. But when you remember there's only good, there's only love. So don't be afraid of people disappearing or bad things happening. If you believe that it can be, then that's your assumption. But remember who you are. You're only love. There's only love, and there's only good. So everything and everyone will conform to that reality, that only fact that is that you are God. You are good. You are love. God is not evil and bad and wants people to disappear. Nothing bad to happen. God is good. God is love. Okay? So I wanted to also include this Bible verse in Luke 21:31. It says, the kingdom of God is near, right? Well, what is kingdom? In the concordance and metaphysical interpretation of kingdom is Christ, consciousness. It's the divine mind. So the kingdom is you. The kingdom is within you. Not this physical body is a vessel for things to play out, right? But the kingdom is who you are. It is God. It is the divine mind. And the mind is causation, okay? So mind is causation, means where everything begins. So the kingdom of God is near. It's in you. And even Neville said near is not even a close enough word to describe how close God is. God is under your breath. So near still implies some form of separation, because God is literally under your breath, is one with you. You guys are moving together like a little twins, right? Everywhere you are, God is. Everywhere you think, God is. Everywhere you feel, God is. Everything, God is everything. God is all, right? So mind is causation. So the cause of everything is you. That's what that's saying. The cause of everything is you. So cause of what? All of it, everything. You are the cause of how time shows up. You are the cause of space. You are the cause of your desires. You are the cause of everything. In the beginning, cause, this is Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, meaning the beginning is cause, what caused it? God created heavens and the earth. Do you see that? In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. What's the beginning? The cause. The cause of heaven and earth is you, is one, is God, right? And in A Course in Miracles, it says the scripts are written, meaning it's done. Creation is finished. That's what creation is finished comes from, Genesis 1:1. The scripts are written. You can't change realities, okay? Just like in Flash, you can't change what is. Him moving that can of tomatoes into his mom's basket, he was trying to change realities. You don't have to change yourself. You don't have to fix yourself. You don't have to heal yourself. You don't have to hope people see you differently so that they can want you. You don't have to change careers. You don't have to change anything in this one reality, right? You only see it as an option, and then you move. And when you revise something, or you choose something, or you imagine your wish fulfilled, that is entering a whole new dimension, a whole new reality. You are like Flash standing in the middle of that Coliseum, in the middle of that baseball field or football field. You are in the middle of that arena. Every single moment of every single day, you are in the middle of the arena selecting, not time, but you are selecting a version that you desire to be, because all of those versions exist around you and you are standing in the middle of all of them. Every single moment of every single day for the rest of your life. You've always been doing this, and now you're aware that you can select any experience that you want to, because you have access to every single point of time. You have access to every single point of versions of you, of others, of everything, and you're just selecting them, and you're allowing that version to unfold from you. All right, today in the Rosey Life course and community, I was explaining that when you feel like you're looking at reality, all right, you're looking at 3D, you're not, okay? If you're trying to wait for something to unfold, right, it's not like you're waiting for something to come to you. No, it is you are in that middle of the arena, choosing your desire, whatever it is that you want, and then you have it within you. And when you persist in it, you're allowing this desire to unfold from you into your 3D. Everything comes from you, and it's almost like you have these little gates, right, within in imagination. Let's say you're opening. When you persist on your desire, the more that you stand in it, you're just like, I know I have it all within me. I'm in the middle of it all, and I'm allowing these gates to open, to unfold. So the more that I stand in them, the faster I see it in my reality. But what you do is you select it, and then you wash it down with doubt or fear, and then that too is a gate unfolding of fear and doubt, and that shows up in your reality. So you have to ask yourself, what do I choose now? What do I choose now? Because every moment you are unfolding another desire to come from you, through you, into reality. Remember, nothing's coming to us. It's unfolding from us into reality. How? That is not for you. You are choosing and allowing the law, the promise, to unfold it, and the law begins to open the gates and to unfold it in its own magical way, right? With God who works in mysterious ways. And I used to hear that when I was a kid in church, right? Well, that's what it is. That unfolding is you allowing yourself to have your desires by standing in that, knowing that that is yours, and you are in the middle of it all, selecting, just like Flash did in that Coliseum. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for sharing my content in the Rosey Life with others so the channel keeps growing. And I appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel. And hit me up if you guys have some cool stuff. Oh, you know what? I had to read this to you guys today. I know this video is probably longer, but I have to read this to you because this goes right with what I said. And I told the subscriber, sent me this beautiful email about all her aha moments she's having from watching the Rosey Life videos. And I had to share this with you because it goes perfectly. So she said, I have one more quick thing, because she sent me a couple emails. She says, I have one more quick thing I felt like I had to share because it was so cool. I had the most amazing download after watching one of your videos on the illusion of time. This is perfect. You guys are going to love this. So stemming from the fact that having a desire means that the higher self already has that end result. If that is so, it's almost like this physical life avatar character, meaning our body, is the experience of getting to that end result. It's like our higher selves are watching a movie of themselves experiencing the process, the progression towards what it already has accomplished. Only it's watching that movie through the avatar. Hopefully I'm describing that clearly. It really puts things into perspective. Like, why would anyone need to worry about their desires being fulfilled? What is being experienced already is movement towards that, even though from our limited view, it may not seem so. Simply amazing. I feel like I'm experiencing eternity. Thank you again for your content. It's brilliant. You are so approachable and lovely. Thank you. Oh, and thank you so much for the subscriber that wrote that to me. I asked her if I could share that because it's so cool. It's so good. But that's exactly correct, right? That your higher self is viewing this 3D as a movie through you, and you're the character playing that part, and you're the one that gets to decide what's going to happen next. How? By your assumption, and then you're allowing that unfolding to happen from you. I hope you guys enjoy that. It's so cool. I love you guys so much. You are all freaking amazing, and I really mean that. And I love reading your comments and getting your emails and your questions and working with you guys one-on-one. You guys just like fascinate me, and I love you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.